In a place called Hobbytown, there are all manner of collectors. He's a cantankerous commenter who is decidedly fresh to the hobby.
What do you say there, liver lips?
And he's a country gentleman, getting by on good old-fashioned Southern charm.
But when I'm with my cards, I am carefree like a 12-year-old.
Can two vintage card collectors coexist in conversation without driving each other crazy?
The cracked ice house treasures kaboomy.
Kaboomies.
Kaboomy, one of one.
You got to get some Southern drawl in this YouTube community, man.
This is Hobby Talk with the odd couple, Tony the Southern Collector and Mike Petty.
Mike Petty.
What's up there, fruitcake?
Man, can you believe this is episode 9 on the Southern Collector channel? It's actually 10 if you count Hobby Palooza.
Well, I count it. That definitely has to be counted. That's a lot of episodes.
It is, man. I mean,
I hope somebody will actually watch them.
Yeah, exactly. I hope so, because nobody watches those long stuff.
No, not the long form.
No, people want 10 minutes or less, dude. Well,
I can understand them only wanting 10 minutes of me. That's an asshole already.
Well, hey, man, congratulations on your Dodgers, dude.
Whew, thank you very much. Yeah, that feels good. A back-to-back win. And I tell you, I didn't quite know how to celebrate this one. It felt like a loss.
Dude, there's no way that felt like a loss.
I mean, it's just, I have to tell you, first you have that Philly series. When the poor guy throws the ball away, it was like a little league move. That literally, I quit playing softball when I was like in my late 20s. Yeah. When that's the way the games got. There was bases loaded and 2 outs, the ground ball to the pitcher. He would throw it home to try to get him out, and the play would blow up. I go, I'm out of here, and I'm never coming back. I'm not. If you can't pick the ball up and just lob it to first.
Yeah, that was terrible.
I'm out of here.
That dude.
So yeah, it was irritating watching that. I felt bad for that guy, and then just the ups and downs, the way we don't hit as a team sometimes, and they just go in a great pitching, they call it. But damned if there isn't great pitching night after night after night against the Dodgers.
But man, sometimes you just got to be a winning team, man, and figure out a way to make it happen, dude.
That's what they really did. I mean, it was really just by inches. The play at the plate in that 9th inning of Game 7 was like nothing you ever saw yet. That with Rojas with the homer, and then that play at the plate
in the play in left center,
the Paez, as they call him, that play that he made over, because Kiki, he would have had a hard time with that over. He thought he was Willie Mays, and that Paez, I've seen him enough times to know he's not that good out there. He likes to turn like easy plays into hard ones, and sometimes, but when it mattered most, he definitely, because like that play that Dean did the game before, when the ball wedged into the fence.
Yeah, that was heads up.
How does that happen? And then he puts his hands up right away. He's, he doesn't want to go for it. It's a catch-22.
Mm-hmm.
And smart move. But Paez, he would have definitely grabbed for that ball through, and he would have made a bad throw going that way.
Yeah, you never know.
I mean, you never know. But those are the kind of things that he does, like a Tio.
Right. Well, I want to give everybody a heads up. This is what we're talking about tonight. We start out with this. We're going to hit on some big topics, man. We got, do we like the collecting better than the chase, or is it combined? We got some big Shill Bidding talk. We might get into PSA a little bit. And then at the end, we got Mr. Petty's Minute, and it's going to be epic. So stay tuned for this. Yeah, we're going to keep it around an hour. If we go a couple minutes over, we're sorry, but hope you still watch. If you don't, you don't. But we do this because we have fun doing it. So first off, got to ask you this. This guy right here, is he the GOAT?
I assume you're showing me a picture of the shoestring salami.
It's Shohei, and it says equal, and there's a picture of a beautiful,
I'd say he's done enough now to get into that echelon. He's not quite the greatest of all times, but the things he does on a field are extraordinary for sure. You could also see when push came to shove and he had a pitch, he had nothing left. Right? When it came to hit, I didn't see any 5-for-5s with 4 walks in the
Well, in that
last 5
one
games.
game when he got on 9 times.
That was the one game.
And struck out,
He
what,
has
10
he
or
can do,
something?
yeah, but come on. When that guy, what's his name, the Yes Savage guy, he can strike out 12. I
But
mean,
he ain't hitting.
striking out 12 guys is like Bob Gibson, like striking out 3 guys, because Bob Gibson would strike out 20 guys, not
Yeah,
just 12,
but I'm just
not
saying.
10.
The reason, in my opinion, if he would just focus on one, he could be even better.
Yeah.
But that's what makes him a unicorn, that he does both. But I mean, it has to wear on you, hitting and running the bases and all the pressure of every at bat, and then having to take the pressure of taking the mound.
And they
I mean,
don't win the World Series, I don't think, because of shoestring. You know, they win because they have a great team and breaks went their way. He was definitely a member of the team. And I'll tell you, the thing that these Chinese players bring to the stadium.
Chinese.
I mean, when you see what they're doing, you got this Yamamoto guy pitching 9-inning games, let's say.
Yeah.
And then he goes and does all his interviews with yeah, she loves you, yeah. And then he goes into the dugout to clean up the trash
It was
from
impressive.
the team. You got Shoestring, he's getting water for all his teammates. And then every time he goes in the batter box, he's like, you know,
tipping his cap.
Tipping his cap. And every time he makes a big swing, he checks on the catcher.
Yeah.
He wants to make sure the catcher's okay from the evidently
He's
from
making
the wind,
best buddies with the first baseman.
I never saw offensive interference, so I never seen him hit a catcher. But every time when he swings big, he apologizes to the catcher. Believe me.
Well,
So
here's
I
my
like him.
opinion.
He's great.
He ain't the GOAT yet. Okay. He ain't got enough. He ain't got enough on paper. Now, if he can do what he's doing for another 10 years, I don't know if he's going to be the GOAT because no one's ever going to pass Ruth. But
I don't know.
Look, Ruth was so far ahead of the entire Major League Baseball. I mean, he himself are hitting more home runs than like 5 different franchises combined. Like, that guy revolutionized the game in a way, and I'm not talking about his pitching. I'm talking about just hitting. Like, the dude was so much better than his contemporary.
They went from the dead ball era to they started embracing the home run.
But even then, I mean, when everybody else was hitting home runs, he was hitting way more home runs. Like, his WAR is off the chart. So, other than Barry Bonds and a few years he put on while he was on the juice, which I don't count, there's never been anybody do what Ruth does.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't really care about his pitching so much. He did that only for a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
Then he was pretty good. Yeah. But I wouldn't say he was the best pitcher of all time. And Shoestring, you could see he's definitely hittable. But I mean, the guy gave it his all. I would like to see him in the later innings, but I understand that he has to start because they want to keep his bat in the lineup. If you put him in later, they lose him as a DH. And I mean, the point being, though, is I think you need to kind of take that chance because his 5 innings that he gives you and that he was giving the Dodgers all year long when he was rehabbing to get to that 6th inning, he just wasn't that they weren't that meaningful, the innings.
Yeah.
He'd give up a run or two, even if he pitched a shutout with the bullpen or what. It's not like he won games. He only won like 1 game.
Yeah.
Out of all the. So I just think that as a starter, he's being wasted. The innings are let somebody else you're not paying $1 billion eat up those innings.
Yeah.
Like a Kershaw or Matt Scherzer.
If you're watching this, comment on it. Tell us, do you think he's a GOAT? Is he in the conversation?
I'm sure a lot of people do, and I think you said it the best about him. And you have a lot of his cards. You showed them to us
I probably get about 10 or 12. I've got one that's a 1 of 1 from 22 that I'm real proud of, and I got another 1 of 5 from 21 or 22. So he's one of my favorite players, dude. I think he's amazing. I love the way he hits. I like his attitude. It seems to bring a lot of energy. He's just having fun playing ball, man.
Absolutely.
So that's what I like.
That's what he's brought that to the team, and him and the Asian players. They're amazing.
Now, as far as collecting goes, I've done a couple of videos that I moved some cards to get a couple of big cards. I had my latest video with my latest pickups. And what I found, and I want to see how you feel about this, but what I found is when I am on the hunt for something, and it's more about the journey sometimes with some cards than it is keeping them forever. It's almost like once I conquer that hill or I climb that mountain, I climb Mount 1952 Mantle and I hit that peak and I have that, you just think, I mean, it's still awesome, but is there another mountain to climb? And it's almost about that more than it's about what I have in my hand. And I'm not saying I don't appreciate what I have, but it also has to do with what it is. So if it's a scarce card that I feel like if I give it up, I can't never get it again, I'm more reluctant to give it up. But if it's one I know I can pick up. So anyways, the question is
But you're
this:
never gonna pick them up.
do you enjoy the chase or collecting the most? Or
I mean, come
are
on,
they
that's
kind
a
of
hard, tough
overlap?
question. I mean, really, but I mean, I like them both. The chase is fun to a point, I mean, but it's not the end all be all. I know it's nice when you get it, whatever ritual you go through, the way you look at it, the way you document it, whether it's in a book or, like I do, I put it into my card lab,
Yeah.
or I put it into my Excel spreadsheet like I always did. I still like to take a scan of it, and I still like to look at them digitally, which is the digital craze, which I think, you talk about all these digital repacks. It's fun to look at the card on screen and watch it flip around and on the card letter. Oh, it flips. Look at the flip. It's all, so yeah, I definitely like the chase of the matter, but it's not like I have to be always on the chase, I think. Right now, like, I'm really in the best spot I've ever been for not being on the chase.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, maybe I did that earlier, when I started out back around the 2012, 13 area, because I was trying to get all the players as fast as I could. I didn't really care, that in that range, and they could be off center as long as they had some nice quality to them.
Yeah.
And then you're on to something different.
Yeah.
So I think though that my patience level has got a little better for that, or my tolerance towards I could really, enjoy something especially the money I'm spending.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with your personality. So like with me, I started my business when I was 24 with 3 employees. It was me and 3 other people, one being my father. And I've grown my business and I've improved what we do, and I've bought new machineries. We've moved into the new age. We got new computer systems. I've changed locations 3 times. I got my new shiny building. I've built onto my building. I've got millions of
You're a
dollars.
builder. Imagine how many beaver miles that takes on your feet.
Well, but my point is, it's a thing where it's like a shark, man. If you're not swimming, sharks even swim while they sleep. Like, you either got to be going forward, in my opinion, or you're kind of going backward.
You're a little high strung. I think you may want to check into it.
So, but that's my point. I think my collecting habits.
I look at them, I put them away. I'm gonna be, every night for an hour or whatever time allows, I'll go on eBay. Which, I mean, that time is dwindling because I'm sick of their shit. I'm sick, dude. I'm so fed up with everybody's shit up to here in the hobby shit, basically, with just the state of the hobby.
Yeah,
I just might want to be in my own little world right now. And I'm down to such a precious few cards that I really care about anymore. I mean, I love the ones I have. I'm interested in selling some of them. Like, I've been getting rid of cutting some of the bonsai tree.
Yeah, but again, I think the way a person collects is kind of reflection of their personality. Like, are you somebody that's always trying to do something different and you're kind of always trying to improve? Or are you somebody that just, you're good? Like,
okay, so here's your business in mind. You built little by little, bing, ding, ding. I have all these employees. I have all this equipment. I'm state of the art, even though you still use a whiteboard. Here's me. I make $300 a week. I'm happy. I only work like an hour a week. Oh, look at this. I'm making like $75,000 a year, working like 8 hours a week. Well, when it comes to a point when you work 30 or 40 hours a week, you can see the way the money goes up. So it's like, I don't really want to work. If I work, it's extra money, but I don't. The rest of it, I'm not trying to build a better mousetrap. I'm not trying to expand. I just, I'm happy where I am.
Yeah,
And that's
there's
kind of
nothing
like
wrong
with
with
my
that.
collection. Isn't that amazing? And yours is type A. You got to get from point A to B. You need all the Jackie Robinson autos like yesterday. You bought, and the ones you've traded. Oh boy, the some of those signatures and some of the cards that you've had up. I
Well, I
couldn't
mean,
believe going through all those newer things that you got, what you showed in that last video. I mean, that's literally like a collection for
yeah.
somebody. The way you curated it, and it was beautiful. And that was just your recent pickups. I mean, I'm going, what the fuck's going on over there? I mean, I've never seen. I can't wait till this card room and you get to show
Oh,
everything.
dude, the card room is coming together. There is going to be a
Yeah,
card room episode, but that's
I'm
the other
sure.
thing, dude.
Yeah.
We have been trying to sell our freaking house. We're finally moving in like a week and a half, but all my cards are not accessible right now. I couldn't have them accessible because all these strange people coming through our house. So,
Just call
I've
house
always
sitters.
had my high dollar stuff in a safe where you can't get to them, but I can get to them. But now I didn't even do that. Like they are not where anybody can get to them. And so not being able to hold my cards and hang out with them for the last 5-6 months has drove me insane. So I
Well, we'll
can't
have to
wait.
change that. You'll fix that. I was going to say, call secure house sitters. They'll take care of your house for you while
Yeah,
you're gone.
right. Yeah, we saw how that
That,
worked out.
oh, geez. I
Our
mean, that's
buddy
crazy
Dave,
because
man,
it's
that's
so
terrible.
funny because that was another thing that I told my wife and that she had to say, see, I told you. I
Yeah,
told you so. I mean, once you have to give it into your wife, God, I know you're right. And it happens a lot. The
yeah,
last thing was, walking into your house with your shoes on. She said, that makes dirt in the house. I go, what are you talking about? Pretty soon I read up about it and they said, yeah, that's the dirtiest thing, your shoes. And I
yeah,
had to go tell my wife, you know what? You're right about that.
yeah. Never touch the bottom of your shoes,
And
dude.
don't
That's
touch the doorknobs either.
no,
Those are dirty,
nasty.
according
Well,
to
hey,
Waniak.
let's jump into our next one because
All
this is
right,
going to take a little
that's
while.
enough household tips for the night. Let's talk
Yes.
baseball cards there. What do you want to talk about,
We're
Fruitcake?
going to jump into the next one. So I'm going to pull up a screen that for some reason your StreamYard doesn't let you see when
I
I
got
pull it
nothing.
up. So I'm going to read it. Okay. I'm going to read it. It is the definition. I'm pulling up right now. The AI definition of what a shill bid is.
Oh,
Okay.
you don't need to read it to me. I
I'm going
know
to read it.
exactly what it is.
I'm
Like
going to read it.
for the
I'm
audience. For the
I'm
audience.
setting the stage.
Okay.
Shill bidding is the practice of making fake bids on an item to artificially inflate its price or make it seem more desirable to other buyers. It is a form of fraud that is illegal in many places and is expressly forbidden by auction sites like eBay. Shill bidders can be the sellers themselves or a person they've colluded with, such as a friend or an employee who has no intention of actually buying the item. So, any questions about what a shill bid is, Mr. So
Well, I know it's fraud is what I know it is, and I know it's illegal in all states. I read somewhere because I did a little. I mean, I wanted to make sure I was getting this what I thought was correct. Is that if you in some states, if you tell the people in the contract before that they're going to be shill bidded, it can be legal, sort of like
yeah.
what Heritage does. But
Mhm.
other than that, if you don't tell them, and it's punishable, and mostly by wire fraud is what they like to use on that to scare you, because that's like a 20-year
Yeah.
penalty, and then the fraud, the shill bid is like a 4-year penalty,
Yeah.
and that's pretty much what Mastro in 2015 what he copped to. That guy was facing like 50 years or more in jail, practically a life sentence for the old timer, and that's all he came clean for, which was his shill bidding. But he told about the trimming of the Wagner card and he was just a scumbucket from day one.
Yeah.
That was the best the industry had. And now I say that almost a lot of people have taken that pattern of the Mastro and just run roughshod over the whole hobby. But,
I'm going to ask you. I'm just going to put you on the spot.
yeah,
Have you ever shill bidded for yourself or for a friend?
no, never for a friend, and never for. I don't think I've ever done it for myself. I mean, I don't really put anything on eBay.
Right. Well, I haven't. I mean, even in an auction, you could do it.
In an auction, I would never do that. I've never been in an auction, any of my
well,
stuff.
I'll
Now
say
I'm going to be on the next auction on this collectors. I would never dream of putting a bid on it. I
right.
don't want to get stuck with it and have to say I'm a dumbass. Otherwise, you should use a reserve bid.
Right.
You know, if you're, and maybe Heritage used the reserve bid with that Ruth card. We don't really know yet with that the Babe Ruth schedule that went for 4 million.
Yeah.
We don't know if that was a show bid and it didn't go high enough and it's so we really don't know until the money changes hands or where that card goes. So that's kind of sketchy, the whole thing.
Yeah, it was. And then we got the whole thing with the Wondershine card. I mean,
which
do we know for a fact
show.
it was shill bidded? No, I don't have.
We don't. And then why would they shill bid against each other? Because it cost them more money. But that was that the plan?
That was the plan. Think of they got so much PR publicity out of being the highest selling price card ever. So they shill bidded it. This is my opinion. I don't have evidence. They shill bidded it up just to pass the highest ever. So they got the mantle. Well, not the actual mantle, but they got the title.
Well, what's that card really worth then? I mean, is it worth 7 million or who paid
7,
who
8?
knows?
Yeah, we don't know. That's the problem.
Why is it worth that much?
That's the problem. We don't know. That's the problem with shill bidding, in my opinion. So I'll say to myself, I've never bid on anything of my own. I've never bid on something for you or anybody else I know.
I would never call somebody or have a group or something. Say, hey guys, let's shill bid this up that's just some devious shit. And those are people there's a lot of them like that in the hobby.
Yeah.
And it's been probably happening it's been suspected for some time, not only with shill bidding, but buyers groups and with Roberto Clemente rookie card back in 2010 or something, when that price shot up for no reason.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts on the auction houses? That they're allowed. It just came out, by the way. REA is allowing it now. Inside,
REA
they were one of the last ones who wouldn't do it. Love of the Game still doesn't do it, but REA.
So what do you mean? You mean so REA, like they'll place the bids, or their customer can place the bids?
They have no, they can.
They can.
I think basically, I don't know this. Nobody really knows unless you work there. I think what they're doing, instead of setting an actual reserve, and posting it, they are bidding it up to that reserve amount to see what happens. It's really not that much different than setting a reserve. But in reality, they could see a couple of hot bidders going, and they could even jump in after what they consider the reserve amount that they promised the seller that they would get. They could actually go above that, and you wouldn't know. And so
I think that's fairly devious too, but if it's spelled out and everybody, people are doing it, then that's just the scumbaggery that you have to deal with. And then going in, either you do it or you don't, either you're in the hobby or you want to get the cards or you don't. I almost don't mind them show, if the auction house itself is going to, boom, in the last 2 hours or something, they're going to move it up to that reserve price. And if it just sits there, it's over, and let it go back to the guy or put it in next month or whatever they do. I don't know. I don't know what they do.
But if they do that, what's your thoughts on that? Is that okay?
I don't really, I think it's better to just put a reserve on it and just be honest about it.
That's my thinking.
But
because if it doesn't sell,
everything is smoke and mirrors in this business.
Yep.
In case you haven't noticed, with all the breaking bullshit and all the arena club digital pack crap, and
I haven't seen that.
It's all a clusterfuck of just conflicts of interest and shenanigans. 101.
Well, the thing is with the auction house, I think it's been about a year ago that Blue Jacket 66 did his episode where he talked about all the fine print. He went back and read the fine print at Heritage and Golden and some other ones, and he was saying it's in the fine print that they can shill bid. Just know that. So if you know it, which I've known it since then, I'm still bidding in their stuff.
And you're still trying to win. I'm still winning some nice things and still writing them huge checks.
Yeah. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because there was a big thing. If you're not on Instagram, you might not have seen it, but there's a guy who can, whatever. He's a big time collector. He's got a huge amount of cards, expensive cards. Named Peter Ryan. He goes as P Ryan Collection on Instagram.
And what do they call him, P Ryan?
P Ryan.
On things?
P Ryan. I don't know why. He's Peter Ryan, but he's P Ryan.
Peter.
He tries to shorten it. Anyways, and this isn't meant to jump on him. This isn't what this is about, but I'm just telling you why this came up. He had bid on a card on an auction, and he shared a picture trying to hype his card. And in the picture, the screenshot of it, it showed where he had bid on the card and was outbid, and it was his card, and he was showing it was his card. So people called him out for being a shill bidder. So then he has to go on and do a video explaining it was an accident. He didn't know it was his card. And then later he says, well, actually, I bid on it so I could track it easier, but I bid on it early. So he had a couple of different stories, and he brings it. Anyways, it's what happened. Okay, I'm just stating facts. This is what he said.
That's the only thing he's saying.
So a lot of people piled on him, right?
Dogpile on the rabbit. Everybody loves the dogpile a guy when he's poor guy's down.
Yeah. So anyways, he had to defend himself. He thought he did. And so today, this is Monday. This video come out on Tuesday, tomorrow. He went on with Dr. James Beckett on Dr. Beckett's, and this is not piling on Dr. Beckett either.
No, dogpile on the rabbit.
No,
on the rabbit.
Dr. Beckett is
on him too.
He has built up equity in the hobby bank as being on the Mount Rushmore of the hobby.
He could do whatever he wants. He could shit all over anybody. And he's never been, I will say, he's never been involved in a scandal.
Exactly.
I mean, nobody has more information. He's not going to tell you what happens at the dinner table. We don't get to be at the dinner table. God only knows what's going on at the dinner table with the four families.
Well,
let me tell you what's happening over there.
I'll make you an offer you can't refuse. Anyways, I cut a clip out, and I want to break this down because, look, I'm going to say it. I'm a collector. I'm not into all the nefarious dealings. I just buy cards and enjoy cards. I enjoy baseball history. But if I got to do crap under the table, that's too hard to keep up with. I'm not doing it.
We're the marks, Tony. Don't you understand? We're the ones that have the money that are paying for these cards.
Yeah.
And they're just scumbags trying to get every last bleeding nickel that they can out of us, the consumer, the end consumer, because there's not many of us left.
Yeah.
The rate they're running this flipping shit, the burger.
Yeah, I saw Brett McGrath on Stacking Slabs said that the moment people don't collect cards just to collect them is the moment the hobby breaks. Because if all you're doing is flipping cards for profit all the time, like it's really prevalent in the modern. It also happens in vintage. But if you're just flipping cards, at some point the music stops. And it's a
around the mulberry bush.
The music stops. And if you're the one stuck holding the card that's been propped up, you're going freaking broke, man. And if that happens enough, everybody's going to go, I don't like to play that game.
I heard Beckett say that, and I've said that before. That's the definite truth. It's really a game of hot potato, musical chairs. Yeah. Last one holding for most of the stuff. I mean, you could get lucky and nail yourself a Mahomey.
Yeah.
Or a Ohtani.
Yeah.
If you have stuff back in the day. Because, a lot of that stuff was down in price and so there's always some surprises in the base cards or the shit that people throw away. It's not all chase hits, whatever they want to call it.
So let me set this up, okay?
Okay, let's hear the clip.
This is like I don't know, it's probably an 18-minute deal on YouTube and on his podcast. And it's obvious to me that it was probably a longer interview, and he has spliced it.
He loves to cut them up and put them in 5 parts. And then not only that, did P. Ryan pay him? Because I heard he's got a lot of sponsors at the beginning. Brought to you by this guy, that guy, the other guy.
I don't know. But the bottom line is when you cut something up, sometimes you tend to lose context. So I'm going to ask some questions after we listen to this.
Can I ask you this without even hearing it? Why would Dr. Beckett have a guy that's named P. Ryan for shill bidding? Why would he even a week or 10 days after that? Like, why would he talk to him about that? Why,
He
isn't
didn't
that a
say.
job? I mean, he doesn't do interviews like that.
No, he does. He interviews people in the hobby. He has like a podcast every week. They're both from Texas. I'm sure they know each other through the hobby. I don't know whether P. Ryan reached out to him wanting to use him as his PR firm, trying to clear his image, or if Dr. Beckett saw it going on and said, "Hey, let's talk about this on my show." I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
because I
know.
think like they just thought they were talking about it on the Hobby Hotline, Dr. Beckett, last week, not 2 weeks ago with
Okay.
Orlando when he was on there.
So we're going to play this, and I've wrote down some questions. We're going to break this down because there's some questions I got about this, and I'm hoping since you've been in the hobby longer, you can enlighten me. So you ready for this?
I'll try. I'll try.
All right, here we go.
I know my intentions.
Shill bidding is actually defined by intent.
Right.
And they have to assume your intent or give you a negative association based on not acquire, but based on the legacy or predecessor of acquire, that people ought to be innocent until proven guilty.
Some good dialogue has come up. Like, there are auction houses in Canada where you're allowed to bid on your own item. There's auction houses in Arizona where there's hidden reserves. These are things that a lot of people didn't know. And so a lot of people, wait a second, what he did, firstly, isn't apropos in many communities, in effect, that what I did wasn't what it looked like.
It's clearly not illegal. It may not even be unethical in the sense there's no attempt to manipulate. The problem is when they don't even pay. They'll bid it up. If they win, they don't pay. And then they've established a comp in some kind of bizarre way. But they're in a situation where they're way above market. That's the manipulation. When you're, to me, defensive shilling as opposed to manipulative offensive shilling, defensive shilling in the sense of bidding on your own stuff. It's not shilling if you intend to pay. You say, I'm going to buy it for that. I'm not bidding it up. I'm saying at that price, count me in. I'll buy it back.
So, couple of things. One is he said shill. This is Dr. Beckett. Now, let me set the stage. Again, they had just talked about P. Ryan saying he did it on accident. He didn't really shill bid, but he did. He's sorry he did, but it was on accident. So, was it really shill bidding? Which, whether it was on accident, only him and God know that. But shill bid, Dr. Beckett said shill bidding is actually defined by intent. Is that true? What I just read on that definition, it's bidding on your own thing or somebody else's. That's it.
It's not, it has nothing to do with your intentional. Your intentions are to raise the price. It's fraud if you do it.
P. Ryan said he was putting placer bids and he didn't know it was his card and he just happened to bid on his own card, which I know what cards are mine if they're.
And I mean, I guess there could be a lot of things. Like, is it a scheme? Like, is it a one-time thing, or is it just something you're just bidding on your own stuff? Is that really hurtful to the process, or is it not matter, or is it a wider scheme of things? Like what is going on with these bids, and just the way eBay started to basically eBay used to be a great place to catch shill bidders because you could see everybody's ID number and their name behind there. So when guys would come up with 1 and 0 feedback and stuff with crazy names or whatever, that would never be legal to do. They would never let that. If any seller would just basically take them off or not accept bids with less than 20, whatever they are, 20 likes or 20 reviews.
Right.
So there was a much better way to trace that, and then eBay slowly did away with it to the point where you can still trace it now if you try, but they do everything they can to make those IDs scrambled. They don't want to know. They say they have an algorithm. They're full of shit. They don't have anything.
Right. Well, and then Dr. Beckett goes on to say, as long as you're defensively bidding, it's okay.
Right.
But if you are offensively bidding to drive it up above the market price, then that's not okay. In other words,
once it goes the market above the market price, then
he's saying it's wrong.
That's where the crime is. It's only when it's above the market price.
But who says what the market is?
No, why should it's just the practice of it anyway? It's the practice of doing it that's illegal, and specifically they get you for wire fraud.
Yeah.
That's the biggest complaint
So
about
like
that,
if
is that
you got
you're
a
online.
card at Heritage, let's just say you had a American
I can't
caramel
see, by the
chocolate.
way, I can't see anybody ever being arrested again for it. Or, I mean, it's all a bunch of bullshit. But if they wanted you bad enough, and if it rose to a level like an auction house doing it, like Mastro did, like a business doing it versus just a guy, and maybe even just a group, maybe if it was a big enough group over a longer period of time and it was a money-making scheme for them to get rich, kind of like PWCC was investigated for.
Right.
That's really that was all going on there. It was Shill Bidding was just one of the five or one of the common stream money making streams. Does that
Right.
make sense? They
Yeah.
did doctoring, they did money factoring, money laundering. They did it all.
Right.
You know, but the FBI, when it came right down to them, they didn't care. They didn't care
Right.
about PSA. Nobody gives a shit about the hobby. The crooks in it. Nobody's policing it. Nobody's ever going to probably to go to jail for it. It's all a bunch of crap.
Yeah, I agree.
So
So I wrote this
you're
down.
going to have to deal with guys like P. Ryan. And then the guy was talking awful fast. I never trust anybody that talks that fast.
Well, I think I
fast
might have
talker.
accidentally had it at 1.25
Maybe
speed.
that's it, but that's Eddie Fast Talker. Let me tell you something there, buddy.
Yeah, well, it was a little bit fast. But the defensive, if you call it defensive shield building, okay, here's the ways this goes down, right? Okay, one is I got a card on Heritage and I don't feel like it's being bid on enough. I get you to bid it up for me, and if you get stuck with it, I buy it back from you, right? But at least,
you know what? It's a great idea. Can we do that on some other auctions?
Yeah, I mean,
now that you taught it to me,
that's defensive shield bidding. The other one is you could do it to your own card, according to him, as long as you don't get above market, right? You could do it to your own card, or I could do it to your card. So there's different ways, and it's all, to me, underhanded. But as long as it doesn't go over market, what's market? What's market on my Josh Gibson card?
I don't know, 2250.
We don't know.
We don't
One
know.
hadn't sold in years.
We'll have to still bid it up together. You and I will have a fun old time figuring it out.
Right?
Right. We'll figure it out.
So anyway, so yeah, I thought that was crazy. The next thing, if you pay for it, it's okay. That's what he said. It's not. This is a quote. It's not shilling if you intend to pay. Is he talking about bidding on your own card?
What if, let's just picture that for a minute. Let's say you have your card in an auction, like where? Like at Heritage or eBay or Heritage?
Anywhere, wherever.
Okay. Let's say you have it on Shilstein. Let's say Probstein on eBay. Now, because he's the perfect example because he's not there anymore.
Yeah.
So let's say you sent your cards into Shilstein and then your cards come up there, and who's to stop you from bing? I mean, I know that's what happened to me on those home run derby cards. How that guy had he had like no feedback, and he was just going on everybody's cards triple price to the point where he won 90% of them, and then 2 weeks later they came up for bid again, and he was still allowed to bid.
Right. Yeah.
Because that much you could see.
But here's the other thing about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes the more bids that are on something, the more it drives the algorithm and it pushes that item up in the auction when you go on and try to find something. Okay. So you're artificially inflating the bid numbers on that, which artificially inflates the amount of people that sees it, which could artificially inflate the comp.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, that's a lot of shit. If they're thinking about all this, and this is just some devious shit when it comes right down to it, that it's way past my pay grade. I suspected anyway for years, but I can't even answer to it. It's so ridiculous because I can't even imagine it.
Well, again, I'm not piling on Dr. Beck. I'm just asking questions.
When you say like, I can understand like putting a card out there and then it's really bad, and you want to try to buy it back for, you for half price or something. You put a half price bid in, you win, and then you pay for it. I mean, I don't know. You should have just let it go. I mean, I don't think. I mean, who was really hurt by it? You're still hurt by it. You didn't sell it, and you paid for it again.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. As long as you didn't bid it up past market, in his mind, it's not shield bidding.
Well,
I don't know whether it is or not.
I would never want to do that anyway. I would never want to get stuck with the damn thing and to have a friend buy it and then have to pay him. I mean, what the fuck are we doing? Can't you just pick the card you want and try to bid on it? If you don't win, guess what? There's going to be one tomorrow right around the corner.
That's right.
You don't have to be such an anal Eddie about every single damn thing.
I know.
And especially every damn dollar, just trying to get that extra dollar out of somebody's tight ass. I mean, it's tough out there, I guess, that there's just so many losers in the world that's all. And maybe that's a little strong. Maybe they're not losers. I just would say they have a difference of an integrity level than I do. They were raised differently. They don't care about anything but the almighty dollar. To me, it was more important to try to do things right when I was a kid. That's the way I grew up.
Yeah.
That's what so they didn't grow up that way. Otherwise, they don't care they just want to make money. They don't care how it affects people, the breaking, and they have their posse, they have their good cut. And they try to sell themselves on they're doing a good deal for people but it's just the same thing. They're just jerking people off and trying to make money.
Yep. It's just a game to them.
And if that's what it takes to make a living, so be it, and that's what you want to do and that makes you happy. It's not me.
Right. So speaking about money, the other thing that came up, and this is the only thing about us doing monthly series. Yeah. We miss out on some of the headlines.
We get to talk about everything at the end of the month, man. We come up on the month and we get all these old topics.
I know, man.
Finally, we get to say something about it.
So your buddy, he's one of your best friends in the hobby, Jeff Wilson.
I love the guy.
He got in the headlines because he went on Twitter and he was bragging about the fact that he got to pay a PSA upcharge. And he was so excited to pay an extra $5,000 because that meant his card was worth a lot of money. In premise,
can you imagine leading the charge like that and just bragging about what a complete jackass you are? That's what Goof did.
You talk about being like blind to what's going on around him and his surroundings. He's a freaking moron when it comes to understanding context. And the normal collector doesn't collect in his realm. Like, they can't pay $5,000 just because, okay, let's just say me and you are busting packs when you came to visit me and we busted some packs at the hobby shop and we didn't have the kind of income we have. We're just normal Joe Blows at work.
And we pulled a hanger. Let's say we pulled a hanger, you and I.
Yeah.
And then
we pulled some 101 Shohei gold refractor. And now what do you do with it, man?
Well, you either have to pay the piper, which means that if let's say it's $100,000 card, let's say, well, you got to send it into PSA and jerk them around for about 3,000 or 4,000 for them even to look at it because you got to bring it in. And then, oh, Mr. Petty, I'm sorry. This card was much nicer than we suspected. It's not a 9. Now it's a 10, but now we're going to charge you $10,000 to look at it, which is 10%. And just instead, how does that sound? Oh, I'm so fired with enthusiasm. Thank you very much for
give me some more and use some lube this time.
Would you please tell me all about it, how you helped me?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I mean, it's just, what is the world coming to?
I don't know, man. And I've said this, when I got back in the hobby, I run a manufacturing business, okay? Yeah. I'm in construction. I own a cabinet shop, if you don't know. If I went to somebody and said, all right, your house is a $5 million house, so I'm charging you this for base cabinets and wall cabinets.
Good idea
but this person over here, I only charge them this because their house is only a $400,000 house. I'm only going to the same cabinets, the same process, the same overhead, the same employees. Everything's the same, but the $5 million house, you're going to pay 10 times what that dude over there is.
Where do I sign? Where do I sign?
I mean, how can you run a business like that? It's insurance. It's because of the insurance. Dude, I carry workman's comp out the wazoo.
It's so ridiculous.
I've got liability insurance. I've got insurance on my install trucks, on all my, I got like 12 different vehicles in my company. Everything's insured. It doesn't matter if that car is going to an $18 million house or an $18,000 apartment. It doesn't matter. So how can they get away with charging you more just because the card in the same slab as a $10 card is a $100,000 card? How is that legal?
Because because people allow it to be.
Because
nobody
they
says
can.
anything. Yeah, nobody does anything about it. They don't stand for anything anymore, including me. I used to stand for something, believe it or not. I fired much bigger companies than PSA. I fired Bank of America, Costco. Who else comes to mind? American Express, fired those guys. Waste Management, fired them.
Dang.
So like when you get to be that big and you get on my last nerve, you get fired. You know, I think you fired a bank. I'm ready to fire
awesome.
my next bank right now, which is US Bank. They're getting ready.
They're going
yeah, they're going to get fired. If PSA needs to be fired, but nobody will because they're the darlings of the they own everybody, and they own everybody's collection because they're taking a chunk of whatever you give them.
But send it to somebody else, Petty.
I mean, this is the Petty Minute. So, I mean, you might as well get that fucking thing moving.
Do I need to get the clock out?
Yeah, I mean, you might as well. I mean, because I'm just going to start firing right now. I mean,
all right, hold on. Let me get it.
You can work on it while I'm going. So, PSA
right,
with
ready?
the upcharges. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, here we go.
All right. So, once again, here we are at the Petty Minute, and we got to mention the name PSA. Sorry about that, honey. I know she's hearing it, and I hear her yelling. Shut up about your cult. It's PSA again. I know that guy's voice, PSA. Anyway, they are running this hobby. They own eBay and they own eBay shipping because you can't get a fucking card worth $250 in 3 lousy weeks. It just has to go through them. Then you have to sell it through them because they're the largest seller on eBay. Or you can go to Golden and they'll take you for another 24% over at Golden because they own Golden. And then you got to go for a fucking repack over to the HQ House headquarters with the World Series of breaking going on over there, and you got and you got PSA involved in them. So you got great. I mean, there's conflicts of interest just everywhere along the spectrum. You got these upcharges are just for the fucking birds. Stop with your fucking upcharges. I'll tell you, I'll pay the upcharges. You know when? Never. That's when. That was my 30 minute. Yeah.
Okay. You feel better now?
All right, so that was.
You didn't even take your blood pressure medicine.
I didn't need them this time. I'm hydrated. I got coffee. I tried. This is a rough weekend, I'll tell you. I got coffee. I got diet soda.
The Vols got beat by Oklahoma. It just sucked, man. I didn't even get to watch Game 7.
That was the best game when we talked about it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, it makes no sense. You mentioned. I mean, obviously, Nat Turner. He was not a fan of the upcharge when he was a customer.
I know.
He said it was bullshit, but when he gets it, that's just another example of somebody just going for the money.
Yeah.
And just doing for his shareholder. And the thing I've realized too is, look, there's nothing wrong with it. Okay. People are going to make money any way that they can, apparently. And if you want to do business with them, and I hold myself to a higher standard. I wish more Americans did, but the fact is, it's dying in America. There's fucking idiots everywhere, and that's all there is. People are grifters. That's what there's no making anything with their hands. There's no, being an AC guy, a plumber. Nobody wants to do hard work. Nobody wants to be a cabinet guy. They want to do baseball cards and they want to do repacks and figure out how I can give you $600 for every 1,000 you give me. And so I can just shove it up your ass for the entire time and then just continue to get new customers and rotate the whole thing and then give you a smile and a nod and a handshake on the way. And by the way, here's Tom Brady and here's this guy. I mean, it's just what it's like. You saw the NBA, how that went down with the betting, how those guys are, what they're doing with the poker and just being around, they got this Chauncey Billingham. He's around, he's bringing all these big players in to play with him and other people. So he's recruiting them in. He knows damn well what's going on. It's just like Tom Brady and him and this other fucking Rubenstein guy. They know what's going on.
Yeah.
And Shineball, Shitter Shinola Index guy. These guys are all in on the know. They know what's going on.
Yeah, I know.
So
And the thing is,
it's just a shyster game. It's
the whole PSA thing. They're a monopoly now. They have the ball. They make the rules, and nobody can touch them. And we're just look. I will be honest. I think I've only submitted 3 different submissions to PSA in my life.
Me too. Mostly for the research or the slabs, which I've enjoyed the last year and a half.
But man, I've got like 10 really nice signed raw cards that I'm not putting them in a Beckett. Like that'd be stupid. I've got to send them to PSA. I'm going to have to pay them idiots
and you're gonna
all
have to
this
wait,
money. But I got to do it.
Wait. And that's the other thing that I didn't bring up in the petty minute, the fucking waiting over there. You know, what gets me is they have 15-day threshold, 10-day threshold, which you pay up. Then they have 45, 30-day, 45. And then the thing is, you give it to them right at their facility, for instance. You walk it into them. You walk it into Burbank, wherever it is. That thing doesn't get logged in for 2 fucking weeks.
Is that right?
So, yeah, those aren't business days. Sometimes it's 10 days. Sometimes it's 20 days before it even gets logged in. And then they give you your 15 business days or your 30 fucking business days. Nobody works off fucking business days. That's from the 1980s.
Yeah.
But these guys, I mean, what you mean to tell me you're grading 2 million cards and you don't have people working on Saturdays? You don't have 6 fucking business days or 7 and working overtime to get through because you can't make your deadline.
No, I wouldn't have any customers.
It's just not right. And then to take money from them on something that's worth more after they've waited an extra month on your 45 fucking business days, that's already 90 fucking days.
You know why I can't treat
extra 2 weeks.
You know why I can't treat my customers like that? Because there's other cabinet shops in Middle Tennessee who would gladly take my customers. They don't have anybody else is going to take.
Isn't that funny how that works?
Yeah,
and they just buy their competition.
Yeah.
Imagine that. The boutique, rest in peace, SGC. Yeah. Hey, are we going to show any cards today? I got.
Man, I don't have no cards. They're all put up.
For sale. I got.
Show some cards,
Let's
Betty.
run a sale. I'm running a sale. This is on my. Here's a fire sale.
Show us what you got.
Mini Minosa. Look at this A, would you? This is the most centered. This is the most centered Manette Minosa you're ever going to see with an A. Little tiny bit of color added, but this card could be had in your collection. And trust me, go look at it.
Are you going to throw out prices or what are you going to do?
I mean, I'm firm. Whatever it was. I'm firm on them. Here's one here. Look at this. It's a 7. There's tippy touch. Look at the centering.
But how are people going to know what you're charging them? I mean, do they need to reach out to you?
I'm firm. I'm not
40?
budging. Willie Mays. Look at this one.
That is nice.
This was one time. This is where SGC. This was a GAI 7.
Wow.
This is where GAI 7's go to die. SGC.
That's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Probably should be a 6, but this one. Look at the centering on this one.
You're selling that?
Yeah, I'm tired.
Dude, that's amazing.
I know, it's beautiful.
What are you asking for that bad boy?
Corners. I'm asking 14 beans, but I could be maneuvered.
Wow.
Over a woodshed. These are all, and look at this high number. Nobody's got one that sharp. Look at the sharpness.
That's a nice one.
Maury's sharp. The Pirate.
Yeah, that's Bump Wilson.
These are all for sale. And then I wanted to show 2 that I did buy. Here's the beautiful one I got from Collector Investor Auction.
Look at
that.
Right.
Look, the shipping was fast.
How fast did you get it?
I got it fast after they got my check. I do appreciate them. They mailed it right out.
That's awesome.
And then my card, the Mike Petty collection's coming up there. I see Mike Junkwax Hero. He's got 9 cards in the auction.
Wow.
Collector Investor Auctions. And they got him from the Mike Jackpack Waxed collection.
Do they really?
My card's under the Mike Petty collection.
Well, what's up with that?
If those cards don't say from the Mike Petty collection, I got news, and I'm not going to get them no more Mike Petty collection. So they got that, and then I got the
Mr.
Rose. I remember when we used to like to throw batteries at him back in the.
Did you really?
Back in the early 80s, yeah.
Wow.
We booed him. I never threw a battery at him, but that was one of the things they liked to do.
You didn't have a good enough arm to get it there.
Fuck no, my arm. I didn't want to hurt my arm. You're right. I remember having the batteries in my pocket and then thinking, like, should I really throw these? I go, no, I'm not going to throw these. And I said, that'd probably hurt my arm.
Yeah. It gets down to self-preservation.
You read me like a book.
Yeah.
It wasn't that I wasn't going to do it. I just thought better of it.
Well, Petty,
did we miss any other questions about the shill bidding or the PSA? I mean,
dude, I think we covered it, man. I think we covered it. So,
all right. Well, I gave him as much as I could, but I mean, I just, you have to roll with the punches in this hobby, Tony. It's not going to make me enjoy it any less. It's just, and the fuckery is just going to be what it is every week. And give us something to talk about. We'll have some fun. Your collection's done great, just beautiful the way you've transformed things, and you're an inspiration to a lot of people. And I hope they hit the like button and subscribe, for crying out loud. You can't get no money. We need you to start getting sponsors. I want to see PSA scrolling.
Oh man,
all this,
so for you guys out there,
Beckett this, Beckett that.
For you guys out there in YouTube land that think, man, these guys doing these videos make a ton of money. Dude, I ain't made 1 cent off my channel. I'm still,
especially because you have to pay me for an appearance. I'm not cheap.
You're my overhead.
That's a big overhead. A lot of cabinet making there. But I'll eat you out of house and home.
Yeah, there you go. Well, Petty, I appreciate you doing this with me once more.
Oh man, it's my highlight of my month. You know that. Anyway, just happy to do it, and hope everybody enjoyed the show tonight.
Well, I appreciate you. But listen, until my next video, just remember, Tony loves his baseball cards.
He sure does.
Tony loves his baseball